Hi, I'm Mike Regan, and I have a very important question for you. Is your organization prepared to see your transportation rates go up by as much as 20 to 25% over the next 2 to 3 years? Now, hopefully I've got your attention, but let me tell you why I ask you this question. I've been given a presentation this year called Predictable Surprises, and frankly, I've been delighted and surprised by the overwhelmingly positive comments I've gotten from people who have attended these sessions. In fact, the comments have been so positive that I've gotten some calls and emails from folks asking if I could share the highlights of this presentation so that they'll have a better understanding of how they can plan for and manage their transportation cost. Now, in this presentation, I asked the audience to do a couple of things. First, I go through a lot of things that are happening in the transportation industry and talk about the potential impact that these things could have on capacity in the trucking industry. And I asked the audience, if you disagree with me, I want you to stop me. Raise your hand and say, Mike, I disagree. Well, guess what? No one raises their hands. And the reason they don't raise their hands is because the things that I'm talking about are in fact the kind of realities that they're facing. What kind of things? Well, if I look at things on the regulatory and legislative front, I can take a look at electronic logging devices. Are we going to see electronic logging devices over the next couple of years? Are we going to see the use of speed limiters? Are we going to see a whole bunch of things occurring that affect how trucking companies run their business? The answer to that question is yes. And rather than being caught by surprise, we can in fact predict the future by looking at what's occurring. And that's the point of the presentation. Now, I also created a little thing called the predictable surprise formula that makes it real simple to categorize the types of issues we want to look at. One of them takes a look at the financial concerns that carriers are looking at. And folks, I'm just going to tell you, most of the carriers we talk to have made a serious commitment to rebuilding their balance sheets. The second thing we take a look at are the operational issues affecting carriers. Are we going to see driver shortages clear up anytime in the near future? Probably not. And then once again, over on the regulatory and legislative front, we have a whole host of issues for you to look at. But when you add it all up, what you're looking at is an environment where your rates could in fact increase by as much as 20 to 25% if you continue to run your business the way you've run your business over the last 5 to 7 years. And whether you're the CEO, the president, the chief operating officer, or the manager of transportation, it makes no difference. What we're encouraging companies to do is to get together and look at the practices and processes that are driving your transportation costs. Because if you want to come in with increases that are significantly less than the 20-25%, it may require your organization to make important changes, and in order to make those important changes, we're all going to be having to sing from the same hymnal. And that's why I want to encourage you to download a copy of the presentation called Predictable Surprises. Send us an email, give us a call, and I do have one favor I'd like to ask you. It's the same thing I ask our audiences. If you disagree with any of the factors or things that I point out in that presentation, will you give me a call? I'd really welcome your insights. And more importantly, I'd welcome your feedback about what you think about our presentation, Predictable Surprises. And of course, if you're looking for some help about how your organization can do a much better job of managing your transportation costs, we'd welcome the opportunity to have that dialogue with you and your company. Thanks for your time.